Here's a pattern that I see very often with independent experts, solopreneurs, trying to build a professional services firms that is financially successful, but also a firm that they love. And that pattern is the difficulty to be accountable for the things that they want to do with their business. This is especially true with people with attention deficit disorder, like me. Yes, I have attention deficit disorder. That's okay. I got lots of strategies and I'm fine. But so this is one strategy for you that I like to share. So what the pattern that I'm seeing is this. Very often time and if this is you, I'm going to say just you, assuming that this is you. So very often time you worked previously in an environment that may be a firm, a team, maybe a large firm where your day is really structured with the requests and the solicitations of other people. So you got a bunch of meetings throughout your week. You got client work to deliver. You've got workflows and processes that force you to accomplish certain things by certain dates. And all your world revolves around this. And your problem is that typically in that environment, you don't have enough time for yourself to actually be alone, to be independent, to have quiet time and really focus on the deep work. One of my longtime clients works for a very large executive firm, and that's the number one thing he always complains about. I don't have time to write, to think. I'm going meetings after meetings, and so I'm constantly in the hamster wheel of that environment. Now, when you leave that environment and you start on your own, all of a sudden the calendar is empty. And if you don't have a natural skill set, or if you don't have the mental wiring necessary to be accountable and show up on time, doing the things that you said you would do, like publishing, like reaching out to potential clients, like starting to build your website, like organizing your time and so on. If you keep skipping and missing very, very soon, very often, it starts to be really complicated. It starts to really be really difficult. So one of the strategies that I recommend in that case is to recreate, maybe artificially, the conditions that are going to enable you to thrive. So what are the factors that enable you to thrive in this situation when you're on your own? Very often time, you will be at your best if, first of all, you engage in a task knowing what to do. You have a clear set of steps, maybe just in your mind or on a piece of paper or on a digital document. And it's like having an operating manual or a standard operating procedure, SOP, right? You know what to do going into this task. For instance, I'm going to take this exact task that I am performing right now, recording a video for my YouTube channel. I know exactly what to do. I open Zoom, I think about the topic I want to cover, I get ready mentally, do some breathing a little bit, kind of ground myself and connect to my authentic energy signature, like being who I am. And then I hit record and I do a couple takes, no more than 2 or 3. And then there it is. That's the video that I'm recording now. Then I stop and then I post it on YouTube. That's my standard operating procedure. So number one in my strategy here for increasing your level of accountability yourself is to know what to do. The second thing is to be motivated to do it, right? So you have to be able to connect what you're doing with your inner motivation, because no one is asking you to do. Has anybody asked you to start your new business on your own? Or to grow it, or to just change it? No, you have to connect to your own internal motivation. And here, not to go into too many details, but really it's about tapping into the freedom to do something, to be excited about doing something that you care about, right? Overall, you're going to be excited about doing this. At first, was I excited to record videos like this? I was more scared than excited, to be honest. But over time, I learned the process, and now I am joyfully recording them because I see in the big picture that this is something that fuels my soul, that energizes me, that helps other people, and ultimately that helps me grow my business and have a profitable business, because some people find me on YouTube and they want to work with me and they become my clients and so on. Okay, so number 2 factor is motivation. The third factor that I see that works really well for people like us is what one of my clients called the performance factor. Performance. So right now, this is a performance, guys. Come on, I am performing in front of you. There is a little bit of theater, to be honest, right? There's a background, there's some props. I'm dressed a certain way. I am very much myself with my French accent, but there is performance. When we do consulting, when we do professional services, we are performing in front of our clients, with our clients. So will you let yourself be late for a client call? Probably not. It's a big no-no typically in our professions, right? So for all of those people who are used to work with an employer, with a team, the cultural kind of universal cross-cultural more or less, because some cultures have different boundaries as far as time management concerned, and flexibility. In France, if you're 15 minutes late to a meeting, it's still okay. In the US, typically after 2 minutes, people say, "Oh, sorry, I was late." So so performance, recreating that performance factor. If you know you're going to have to show up in front of someone to either have a check-in meeting, do a presentation, do a review, a coaching call, or work on their documents together, it's going to help you be more accountable. So the whole idea here is to recreate that environment with those 3 factors. So what can you do to do that? It's like this whole strategy, it's like moving from an exoskeleton. Have you heard of exoskeleton? Basically, what is an exoskeleton? It's a machine. It's like a set of systems that are outside your body that help you perform better. Either if you're not handicapped, it will help you run faster, lift heavier weights, because there are motors and there are springs and things that help you lift stuff. But for people who are paraplegic, for instance, they can't walk, the exoskeleton will help them actually walk. So when you are in a team, when you have accountability, it's like you have an outside skeleton. The whole point of my strategy here is to create that skeleton inside your firm, inside your business, inside your time, inside your schedule, inside your mind, inside your heart, everywhere. That structure. And that is what MetaHelm specializes in, to change your narrative from a narrative of, yeah, I'm just going to wing this, to recreating that structure that you need. So I'm going to start with so we talked about those 3 factors, right? Knowing what to do, I just gave you actually what to do with the first one. We talked about those standard operating procedures. They can look like very simple checklists. I have a whole set of them for my business, and the more I grow my business, the more I document my business. A business is essentially just a set of operating procedures, just a set of processes. For the motivation, I just told you, journal, observe, reflect. When do you feel your heart beat because of joy? What is it that you like to do? How do you align with your values? How do you engage? When is it thrilling for you? Is creativity one of the things that you really want to reconnect with? Well, engage in meaningful publication, for instance. And then the third factor that I wanted to address here, which is the performance factor. Well, if you need an accountability partner, and maybe you need that accountability partner all the time, well, find one. It's just as simple as that. It is probably the best kept secret. But I'll tell you this, I'm going to hopefully change your narrative, and hopefully that's a strategic one for you, a strategic narrative. It's totally fine to admit that you cannot work without someone next to you, in front of you, either in person or digitally on Zoom or on the phone. It's totally fine to always have someone work with you. How do you possibly do this when you're on your own? Well, there is an application called FocusMate. And FocusMate enables you to work with people who are just going to show up and work at the same time as you with no interaction. You don't have to talk. Just focus on your work. But just the fact that they are here and that you're going to tell them what is it that you're going to do during this hour creates that that goal, that crucial accountability element that you need to make progress in your business, right? So that's one way to do it. There are other apps like this, like FocusMate, and I'll put in the link below. I recorded a short video about FocusMate, and so I'll put that under this video. You can click and see what FocusMate, FOCUSMATE is, right? FocusMate. That's one example. Find a friend. Ask your kids if it's okay to do your accounting while they do their homework. Your spouse, your partner, your neighbor, whoever this might be. But my bigger message here is that I've noticed that so many professionals find it almost a little, they're a little ashamed that they have to do this, because the dominant narrative is that if we want to be good in business, we have to self-manage, we have to initiate tasks on our own, we have to stay focused all the time, we have to drive and control our stamina and our motivation, and we should be self-sufficient. Maybe, if that's your case, good for you. For many people like me and maybe like you, it is not the case. And I'm here to tell you that first, please welcome to our community, recognize it as fast as possible, and just use those simple, effective systems that are available here to drive and increase your executive functioning, drive agency, drive autonomy, drive effectiveness, and just be at your best to build the business of your dream, the business that is going to be financially successful, also the business that you love, right? Okay, so one final note here. If you need an accountability partner like me, I am for hire. I could be your coach. I could be your coach. Yes, that's why people hire coaches, right? It's probably the biggest reasons why you should have a coach. If I am not your coach, if you don't want to, if you don't want me to be your coach, if you cannot afford my services, or find someone else. It doesn't matter. Find somebody else. But don't miss out on your opportunity to make an impact during your lifespan and make a dent in this universe. Please, please, please hire someone to rebuild that inner metaphoric skeleton that I just described today. I hope this is helpful. I hope you like these tips. And I look forward to your comments, your questions. Please, please like this video. Well, did I even say that? Yes, just give me a thumbs up. Just say you like it, or if you have more questions about healthy productivity like this one, please submit those questions and I'll be happy to cover them in another video coming soon. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Take care.